Hey, so where were you and what happened?
Just the Filmmakers Lounge, and they had some kind of fire alarm. So, exited quietly and efficiently, as we were told to do.
And what ended up happening?
False alarm, as they tell us. Pretty typical.
Got a little more exercise than they were expecting to, so that works out.
So, Dr. Watkins, would you mind explaining a little bit about the premise behind your book?
Yeah, it's based primarily on field work that we've been conducting for the last 4.5 years, surveys that we've been collecting, interviews that we've been doing. And it's essentially kind of the effort to learn more about kind of how and why young people are so connected to, so immersed, so enthusiastic about technology. So, we came into this project really wanting to understand what it means to be social in today's social and mobile media world is changing, and how young people in some ways are kind of at the vanguard of that change.
There seems to be a lot of anxiety about social media, about digital technology, especially with parents and teachers. What would you say, based on your research, to those parents and teachers to kind of ease their minds?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a question that I get a lot of times because, when I do events at schools with teachers and parents, when I interview parents for the work that I'm doing, that's one of the things that they talk about is just their fear and their concern and their anxiety. But one of the things that I try to encourage them to do is, rather than simply just try to shut their kids out of or away from the technology world, the social media world, is, when they're comfortable, allow their kids to begin to start using these devices, because at some point they're going to anyway. Whether the parents allow them to or not, is another matter. But why not allow them to use it with parental guidance, right? In other words, bringing in the technologies, but helping kids to learn about responsibility, helping them learn about what it means to be a citizen in the digital world, how to sort of navigate all of the information that's out there in terms of the social media and digital media landscape. So in that sense, I certainly understand the concerns, but these are technologies that are here. These are tools that young people are using. They're using them at school. Increasingly, they're using them on their own. And so this idea that we can somehow keep them away from these technologies, I think is in some ways kind of a fantasy. So I think the question should be not necessarily keeping them away from the technology, but equipping them with the skills, the social skills, the ethical skills, and the technical skills to make really good decisions about their involvement in digital media.
ScreenBurn is the video game conference and festival portion of South by Southwest Interactive. It brings together the latest video game demos and tournaments and competitions here in Austin, Texas.
And how long has this been a part of South by?
This is its 4th year of the ScreenBurn Arcade. We also have ScreenBurn panels and evening events that require an interactive registration to attend.
And what's the feedback generally about ScreenBurn? I mean, Austin seems to be a burgeoning video game community.
We have a lot of Austin local game developers who come and showcase their talents. We also have participants from all over the world, so it is quite a mixing place of industry and enthusiasts alike.
We're with the Game Development Institute, part of Austin Community College, which includes some relatively new game development programs, including game design, game programming, and game art.
And what are you presenting here at ScreenBurn?
We're just here to offer information about our program and to encourage people to recognize that they can pursue this locally within Austin.
Well, we've put a display together for South by Southwest, and a number of people here, and about 9 of us here in the state from Houston, San Antonio, and Austin have brought substantial unique creations plus standard Lego sets and put a large display in. There was some amount of planning over the web and 2 days of execution to get it to where it is. And we have to tear it all down on Sunday.
then yena uthatha isitayile sam uzenza mina.
The film is about two brothers who live in the Cape Town township, which is just outside of Cape Town, and it's about the period of over 2 years where they were where we met them, and it's about their life. They were in prison when we met them, and they were released on bail from their grandmother, and then they go to an African initiation ritual in the mountains, and they come back to the township and face their old life.
Toetams, again to you.
I imagine that's pretty hard to walk that line between professionalism and objective distance, and forming that bond, that friendship with these people who you're spending a great deal of time with. How do you handle that as filmmakers and as people?
Well, this is our first big project. We didn't know that we would get involved so much. We just let it happen. We wanted that because equally we learned so much from each other. I think I'm extremely happy that I met them and that I was able to become part of their family as well. And that was so special that I was never bothered by it, though it takes a lot of energy. I mean, we were dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
So now maybe you have some ideas.
Yeah, I think it's really like some things were really important for us. Like, for example, that we never paid them any money. That they didn't become like we had some rules kind of that were putting us in an objective perspective
to keep the film untouched.
But then on the other hand, we never there was no boundary between us in terms of the friendship. Like they came really close to us. Like in the beginning we thought they shouldn't know where we live, but then after several months that boundary was gone. Like they knew where we lived, and they even spent time at our place. And I mean that changed things a little bit, but we really became very close, and we didn't hesitate or anything. And I think that's really important if you make a documentary. Maybe not always, but for these types of stories, it is.
From the lower to the cloud.